Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I am so excited that you are here and I am ready to roll into this week's episode. This week I want to talk about understanding our energy because to understand healing on a deeper level and the cause and effect of our own energy as they create ripples throughout the universe, as I described in our last episode, I want to break this down even further. Okay. So I feel this is important to understand as one finds themselves thrust within a spiritual awakening. It is, our inner self awakens, our senses or our energy become heightened significantly. And for me, this was overwhelming. I couldn't understand it, didn't know what to do with it. And it was just this pure energy and energy coming in, energy going out. And I had no idea what to do with it. So I actually want to share with you what I learned throughout the years about our own energy. And for anybody who is wanting more information on awakenings, go check out season 2, where that is where what we talked about. The energy I speak of cannot be measured by modern science, at least outside of the theoretical dimensions. But please stay tuned for upcoming episodes on this and vibrational frequencies. I'm really excited to go even further into energy itself. Today, we are talking about the 4 main human energy components, how they are affected, and how to adjust them. Because, of course, as I do with really all of my episodes and with my clients and everything else, I can't just leave you in knowing energy, but not how to manage it or the tools to go about it. So stay tuned for the end for that toolkit. There are layers or components to our energy. So let's refer back to last season when we spoke about the 4 parts of our whole self wellness. These are our main energy elements. It's one and the same. So I'm going to break them down again. So the first one is our physical energy. This is our body. This is the exertion or the ability to accomplish physical tasks. And then I have 2 and 3. I have them together because honestly, they really, really flow in and out of each other easily or a lot. And this is our mental and emotional energy. This is the power of your mind is the most powerful tool known to man, capable of shaping our realities and changing it with just one thought. Our thoughts shape who we are and who we will become, as well as influencing our physical well being and our emotional state. It's also about our ability to manage and express emotions. As Aristotle said, the energy of the mind is the essence of life. And for our spiritual energy, this is our soul, our consciousness, the vitality, the energy generated by the inner self. This is you in your most powerful form, fully authentic without limits or false beliefs, fully understanding and unconditional. For more on each of these 4 components, there are individual episodes created in season 4. So you can go back and listen to them individually. But we're going to also talk about our life force energy because this is another layer within our own energy. Our human energy, and honestly, all living things, is fueled by your life force. Life force energy is the sustaining force of life itself. It is the universal or pure energy that flows in and around our bodies that animates us. It is the essence of life, it's the unknown. Life force energy is also known as qi. And in traditional Chinese medicine, it translates into vapor, air, or breath, meaning vital energy. And then there's prana. And in Sanskrit, that translates to life force, energy, and vital principle. So, spiritual energy and life force energy are actually not the same. Spiritual energy is our soul or our consciousness, while life force energy is what gives us breath and life. And as I said, it just a minute ago, it is the fuel of our consciousness or the energy that constitutes life. These energy components and life force energy, these are not even all the levels of energy that we deal with. This is just the next level to uncover before we dissect further. So, understanding now and at least getting these types of energy in, let's talk about how we are affected because all our energy levels are affected by many factors. When one part is out of alignment, it affects the rest. So we have our energy input, so what we receive from the world around us. Energy is constantly moving and being transferred. We are constantly picking up from our surroundings. There are so many elements out there, so many from endless sources we come into contact with that we absorb and adjust our energy. And so let's give a few examples here of what that looks like and what it feels like. So, some of these outside sources, we're talking about people. So, we're talking about either talking with people individually, whether we're in small groups, so maybe at work or within their family or friends, or large groups, whether we're going to concerts or we're going to places where there are a lot of people around, parties and whatnot. And this isn't just physically how we interact with people, but also virtually. We're in this new day of age where now we're having virtual meetings in Zoom. And not only that, for those of you listening, you are also picking up on my energy. You can feel it and you are absorbing it. And then we have intellectually. So, this is what we are absorbing by learning and what we're watching and what we're hearing. So, it could be media, what we're learning electronically through hearsay, the news, social media, conversations, books, et cetera, et cetera. We are taking all that on. And depending on how we hear it or the source that it's coming from, we can pick up on the energy that they are bringing out. So, whether someone is talking from fear based, or someone with anxiety and talking about a certain topic, you're going to feel it. And then it's also we're registering it and taking that information in. And then we're categorizing it and taking it in as energy. So, what I mean by that is as we hear something, especially if something is uh, stress related or feeling that anxiety and you feel it, it can cause a trigger. And now that trigger is coming in and affecting our mental and emotional energy, which in turn affects others. We're going to get into that in a minute too. So other factors that we're affected by the outside sources, we also have environmental. And for me, this falls under, let's talk about nature, about what we are consuming and breathing, what we're around, what we're touching, and uh, what we are putting in our systems or around our body, right? So if you are on a regular diet, depending on what you're eating, you have to think about the energy. You are consuming that energy of what you are putting into your body, from the animals, the trees, the plants, or the chemicals, or the I don't know what that is either, but the other substances that are not natural. So now we're talking about processed foods, things like that. This is all energy coming into us. This affects our life force energy. It either going to bring it up or it's going to drain it. It does. It all matters in our energy. Then it is also about the places we go. Every place and what we're around has electronic impulses and imprints. So think about the buildings and the places you go to. The buildings themselves carry lots of energy, not just the people in there, right? Could be the energy that is left over time. You are going to courthouse, for instance. Courthouse is going to have lots of different energy, and you're probably going to be feeling a lot more of the negative side of things. There's going to be a lot of fear there, a lot of anxiety, a lot of anger, things like that coming out of that place because these are really big emotions people are feeling. And emotions are energy. We express it and it is left out there. We're going to feel it and pick it up and absorb it. Then, even in restaurants, in train stations or wherever else you go, all of these places have energy that are left. Then you also have other natural settings. I'm thinking about places where a lot of people have gone, not only that, but where large specific events have happened, whether happy or tragic. For me, I can't really go to battlefields or anything like that that holds a lot of those traumatic events. I feel it. It is heavy. I absorb it. Oh, it's so much to take in. You are taking all this energy in, and this is just a small sample of the things that we are taking in. And everyone's energy field is affected daily by outside situations we come into contact with, let alone our own internal happenings and battles. So, what we're struggling with internally, our own, mental states, things like that, and we are collecting all this other energy, and it's kind of all coming in and on top of it. So, we are constantly doing this as we move around our day, and it is unconscious. Now, think about this. As an empath or those with higher sensitivities will also be more affected by these external energies. I'm not going to get too far into this. I do have a whole episode. Go back to season 3 for empaths. I also run a workshop for empaths and understanding how to manage that energy. Check out my website, shereebuckman.com, for more on that. So now that we've talked about all that we take in, let's talk about what we put out, our energy output. So, given what we all take in, it absolutely affects how we interact with life, personally and socially. So, in the last episode in Microcosmic Healing, I explained the exchange of energy from one interaction and how it affects many, right? That butterfly effect, and how you can take someone else's bad day on as your own when you were doing just fine. And it's a cycle that can continue and continue until we learn to regulate our energy. So, on top of that, we have an allotment of energy to work with within our daily lives. So, everyone chooses where they put their energy. Depending on your situation or circumstances, will depend where you put your energy. The amount of energy you work with depends on many factors. So let's break this down. Think about the roles you play in your life and where your energy is needed. Now, if you're a parent, you are thinking about and working with your kids' schedules, foods, routines. Are they sick? Are they happy? Et cetera, et cetera. And then think about work. It's the amount of time and trying to put balance in there, the deadlines, difficult coworkers, bosses, or clients. You also have, we're putting energy towards money. It is about our finances, our bills, creating grocery lists, going back to school lists, and not only just thinking about it, then it's also building the energy to do these things, right? To go to work, to go to the grocery store, to take your kids to their activities or their appointments, let alone thinking about the energy for your spouse or partner, for your friends, extended family, for your own self, right? We need some time. We're thinking about our own health and our self-care and finding your purpose and et cetera, et cetera. Whatever it may be for you. Oh, wow. That was a lot. But we often feel unbalanced and overwhelmed when so much requires our energy. The goal is balance. We are not just one of these roles, we are all of them, the ones that you experience. We go through time and phases where one or more will be more prominent than others. Okay, like when we become parents, of course, we have this allotment of time where we are putting our energy into our children and growing them into fully functioning human beings, or for caregiving for maybe an aging parent and taking care of them, or during our very, very self-absorbed teenage years. These are the different times and where, again, as an example of the temporary phases that we will go through. So let's talk about managing this energy, though. So when you feel you are losing yourself and feel completely drained all the time, it's time to make energy adjustments. Connecting to every aspect of ourselves creates the balance and peace we seek. Yes, embracing it. So, from balancing our energy components to aligning yourself in your life roles. Because, as I said, we are all of them. We are not just one. But awareness is the key here. And I have said this in so many episodes, and I'm going to say this again because awareness is always the first step. And awareness will help you bring that balance back into your life, although it is something that will require regular maintenance. So let's talk techniques. This is this toolkit. So here are some techniques in managing your whole self energy and your life force energy. So, one, yes, it's my number one recommendation, especially when we're talking about adjusting our energy, and it is meditation. Meditation is fantastic when it is coming here and we are adjusting ourselves. And as bonus, actually, I will be creating a guided meditation and adjusting your energy roles. It'll be really good for anyone who is having a hard time in that. So stay tuned. Go on and find that in the guided meditation section. Another one is mindfulness and grounding. So, as we ground, we are actually connecting with the earth and adjusting our energy. So, we can let go of energy that we no longer want to hold on to. And we can also bring in and collect the higher frequency energy. I actually have a whole episode on this in grounding and why that's important, and a whole grounding meditation to walk you through that. And that is all in part of season 2. Please go back and find those. Those are fantastic. Another way to help manage this is our diet. Actually, when it is coming for our life force, raw and uncooked natural non-animal ingredients actually contain the highest life force energy. So you can actually refuel your life force energy. And actually, all of these tools that I am talking here are really good for that. This is all about managing it. So, watch your diet. It's eating balanced food. It is eating more natural foods when you can, and finding that again, balance, balance, balance. Right? This balance. There's also movement and exercise. Basic exercise is really good because it is a way for us to start releasing this extra energy. It is part of the way that our whole self wellness is connected. So, in our physical side, when we are releasing and doing something for ourselves physically, it will adjust and allow movement and other energy to fall off, which is why it also, on top of, yes, all the other scientific facts of, the chemicals that are being sparked within us and all of that, makes us happy because we are also releasing and making space for our emotional selves and our mental self in this too. But there are some very specific types of exercise that are really good in adjusting our whole self energy and our life force energy. And those would be yoga, Tai Chi, and honestly, simply walking out in nature. These are all really good in there. So movement, movement, movement. It is key in here. There are also special services you can go to that are really focused on the movement of your personal energy. And in those, you have acupuncture and Reiki. These are really good. No, this is not a complete list, but these are the ones that I feel that I'm more familiar with, that I am comfortable talking about and recommending. You can please do your own research and find what works for you. But there's also chakra work because our chakras are connected also. Our chakras are our energy wheels, right? Those are our main energy wheels within us. And you can do that and you can learn more about that because I did a whole season, a whole series on chakras and how to balance them along with guided meditations to go with them in season 3. So please go back and look there. I am hoping this episode has helped you in maybe understanding, or at least maybe balancing that understanding of energy in itself as we are understanding our own personal energy and how it's affected. Now I've left you with tools and I hope they help, and over everything. And no matter what, as we go into the next episodes, until next time, be kind to yourself.